Alright, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing another Walking Dead video for today, leading up to tonight's episode for The Walking Dead Season 8. That is for the second last episode, episode 15, called Worth. We're going to go through a bunch of your guys' Q&A questions, but first, let's give our thoughts on a recent article interview with Reedus about how Rick, or Andrew Lincoln, throws punches. And spoiler warning, as per usual, if you guys are not caught up for The Walking Dead, which is up to The Walking Dead, Season 8, Episode 14. So I definitely wanted to do a video with you guys today, if nothing else, just for fun, and also to go through any, of the Q&A questions you guys sent through that I didn't get to this week, because, of course, tonight is going to be Episode 15, the second last episode for this season, so very excited. We basically have 1 week left of Walking Dead, and then Season 8 is over. So that's tonight, Episode 15, and next Sunday, the Episode 16 finale, followed by Fear's premiere for Fear the Walking Dead Season 4. So pretty excited to see all this wrap-up. It's going to be good stuff, and I will have lots more videos coming for you guys. My apologies for missing a couple days this week. Just sometimes I run out of topics, but I'm sure with the finale there'll be lots of stuff to discuss about and talk about. So we'll have lots of videos over the course of summer, Fear the Walking Dead, and no Game of Thrones this year. So I'm gonna have to find something to maybe fill in with maybe some Netflix series, because Netflix has really taken over as they've got there's so many shows on Netflix. So I might do some reviews for like premieres of different series, give my thoughts on some different Netflix shows, because there's so many. So that will be probably this summer, and maybe some movies and stuff. So we'll see what we get into. But Rick throwing stiff punches. So the the link will be in the description to comicbook.com, so you guys can go ahead and check this one out for yourselves. It's just kind of fun. It's with Norman Reedus, so it says, the thing about Andy is he's got and this is talking about Andrew Lincoln, who plays Rick. He says he's got no coordination at all, whatsoever. Zero, Reedus said. So Negan actor JDM called, or Jeffrey D. Morgan called him and said, tonight's going to suck. I'm like, why? He goes, because I have the big fight scene with Andy. He's going to punch me in the face. He's going to drink a lot of coffee. He's going to get super excited. And he's going to punch me in the face. I like that. That's good. The scene Reedus is recalling is from the mid-season 8 finale, in which Lincoln's Rick and Morgan's Negan came face-to-face in Alexandria. It's supposed to be acting, Reedus said. Previously, Lincoln admitted to punching Morgan in the scene, saying the actor took it like a champ. That's good. Good stuff. He has no coordination, Reedus said. The thing is, he does it, and then he completely denies that he did. Jeff's on the phone. He's going, man, he's going to punch me in the nose. Then my other line rings, and Andy's going, okay, so tonight I'm getting ready. I'm going to add a karate kick, and I'm going to chop him, and I'm going to throw it, and I'm going to do all this stuff. This is great. So it's good stuff. So you guys can check out the article if you want. It's good for at least a quick little laugh about Andrew Lincoln beating up the people on set. So whoever's got a fight scene with Rick, look out. It sounds like maybe JDM had his work cut out for him this season, because he had a few fight sequences with Rick this season. If you think about mid-season finale, then there was the one with the Lucille on fire and everything like that. So there's that one. And then, of course, there's probably going to be one in the finale next Sunday. So I'm sure maybe he had to put some JDM bringing ice packs and stuff, right? It's going to hit in the face. Too stiff. Right? Got to loosen up on the punches. But, I appreciate that. I'd rather, if you're going to do it, lay it in a little bit. Yeah, it'll hurt a little bit, but, it'll look good, right? That's one thing I always hate about series, is whenever you're watching a movie or a show, when you hear, like, the, they add the sound effects after. So, like, if you've ever seen, like, a behind the scenes of these, sometimes they use funny things to like make the sounds. They'll use like meat, like they'll hit meat and they'll record it like smacks and stuff, and then somebody punch somebody. Because if you ever got in a fight, you punch me in the face. It doesn't always sound like that. Like if you get a real good one, sometimes it'll sound like you'll hear something, but a lot of times you don't hear too much. So they kind of added it after. But it always bugs me if you see like someone throw a punch and like a cross or something, it totally misses. So it's off by like way too much. You want it to at least be somewhat close. And granted, you don't want to knock people out or injure people, break someone's orbital bone or something. But you want to kind of throw it so that it looks, somewhat legitimate. You want it to be somewhat close. You want them to sell it properly. It's got to look good, right? So is what it is. So I'd rather he be a little bit too stiff than too loose and that it looked totally fake. At least from a viewer perspective. I mean, I'm not in there with him, right? So that's what it is, right? Good stuff. Zazman Reviews said, Yo, Trev, do you think Jadis will survive for the super long haul? I'm talking till season 11 or 12. And for Zaz, the thing is, dude, is that you might be right about that one. I mean, pretty much the way I look at it is this. Every different community that comes in, whether it be Tara's small, family there, that the governor, she came in with the family with the governor, right? And then they had the whole kind of group there. She was the only survivor from that part of the story. So I feel like from each section of The Walking Dead, whenever you have a group kind of come in, having at least one long-term survivor from each group is probably a good thing because it kind of adds weight to whatever happens with that group. If the Junkyard group is wiped out entirely, it almost feels like it was just a filler waste of time. If you have Jadis kind of live longer, which it looks like we're going to see, her likely do now that she's survived out the part with Negan, and she's probably got to get her revenge on Simon, which I think Negan may help her with. We'll see. I feel like she probably will survive for a while. And, season 8, but we're basically in season 9 now, because season 8 is pretty much almost wrapped up here. So a few years for Jadis? Yeah, I could see a few years for Jadis. Tara, on the other hand, we're going to have to see, because she's had her time. But to have a character like Jadis last for a while longer and have her own kind of, she's got her own angle, she's got her own weird take on things, she's got her own kind of backstory and all of that we've got to see some of, and she's got more questions with the helicopters. So whenever you bring up questions, that tend to make you think like, okay, that person's got something going on there, so we're most likely going to see more from her in the future so that we can get those questions answered. And so for Jadis, yeah, man, I'm thinking right now, Jada should be good for a while. She should be good for at least, I'd say, probably a year, maybe 2, maybe 3 seasons, maybe to season 11 or 12. At least season 9, I think, and then maybe 10. But again, there's so many unknowns, it's hard to tell. But I think you're right. Now that she survived what happened with Negan there, and they brought in the helicopter, it's got to be at least a little bit longer now. So yeah, I think she will be around for at least a little while. And I like Jadis now. I feel sympathy for what happened with her group, and I find her difficult to hate. She's not overly strong either or hard either, right? She's a little bit soft. She's soft on Negan. She was soft on Rick there a couple times. So, it's not too bad. She flip-flop back and forth, but, you can understand why she might, depending on, she doesn't really know Rick and the other group. They seem like good people, but I'm sure Negan can seem pretty good too, given the right, depending on how he acts, which a lot of times can be pretty nice when he wants to be. So can Simon. Simon can be really nice before, as long as you don't piss him off and he starts kills everybody. But he puts on a nice first impression for sure. Which is kind of part of his strategy, which was cool to see with her as well, too. Another one is, link will be in the description to Forbes, and it was to an article about Lenny James, where he confirmed that it was actually his choice to leave The Walking Dead for Fear the Walking Dead, or that at least the offer was made to him by Scott Gimple, and he decided to take it. So he decided to do it, to decide to switch from The Walking Dead into Fear. So it's kind of cool that they didn't tell him that he had to do it. They gave him the option, and he decided, okay, I will do it. I will switch from The Walking Dead into Fear. And I think it was a really good move on his part because, with The Walking Dead, there's no telling how many seasons you're going to be alive for. And if you have the opportunity to be a crossover character, that's just going to probably prolong your character's life even further. Like, for example, Swigmaster 2000 says, Hey Trav, after Fear the Walking Dead Season 4 trailer, I hope Morgan stays for Season 4 and 5 before coming back to The Walking Dead. Hopefully this opens up future The Walking Dead universe crossover possibilities, and I think it does. I absolutely think it does. But also, you're right, now that they've crossed him over, I feel like he's got to survive at least 2 seasons. Otherwise, it would feel kind of criminal because it'd feel like he crossed over from there to there, and then you just killed him off straight away. Or if you're going to do it, at least like at the very end of Fear the Walking Dead. But I feel like by adding him to Fear, you probably have him be a mainstay for a few more seasons at least. And, Morgan will be one of the characters that has the most time out of anybody in the whole show. You know, if you think about every character and how much time they get in the series, with Morgan crossing over like this, getting another season, he's kind of ahead of a lot of these characters. Even though he was missing for a while, he's going to be such a concentration. He's had his own solo episode. You know, he's one of your forefront characters in the series. Absolutely. Carol Dorak says, Googled Lauren's new ABC series, Whiskey Cavalier. Can't say it interests me at all. I'm not watching it just because it's Lauren. So who plays Maggie, Lauren Cohen. So that is the name of her new series that she signed on for. No new updates whether or not she's re-signed with Walking Dead. And we're getting close to the end of the season. You know, next season will be starting. They'll be working on that next couple months. Yeah, man, it's getting pretty late now. So maybe we'll see how tonight's episode goes. But maybe a topic for this week. Could she even be killed off in the finale? Because I would think she would have re-signed by now. You know, it's really weird what we're seeing going on. So again, the kind of conspiracy theory is she hasn't re-signed because she was killed off. So we'll see if that ends up being true. It's not spoilers because I don't know, but I'm just saying that, you know, it could be. But for me as well too, Carol, you know, that's the thing. There's so many series out there that I used to watch, like when John Berthal was killed off Walking Dead, I watched Mob City after, which was his next series after Walking Dead. And well, Frank Darabont was involved with it too, and I did some reviews for it in that as well too, because you know, so I used to kind of keep up with series after, you know, the cast had kind of moved on. But the thing is, there's so many characters in Walking Dead now, and there's just so many people that have been in the show, and there's so many other series on. You know, it's kind of like, I don't know, because she was in a horror movie too, wasn't she? I thought she did one of those over the years. It's hard, man. It's hard to keep up with everything, and I don't know if it's enough of a selling point for people just because you know a cast member in another series to actually make time to watch another show. If it doesn't appeal to you, then it's probably not going to work. At least it'll help promo the new series, whatever the series is, because people that are hardcore fans of her are probably going to want to watch it. So it's worth it for them to put her in it to get that pull. But certainly with the amount of stuff on, me personally, I probably won't watch it either. I probably won't even watch the premiere because it just doesn't sound... I get so tired of these procedural, you know... I hate this stuff, man. I wish some of the ABC and some of the major networks could be a little bit more creative with what they're doing. I hate the cookie cutter series and how they all feel so, you know, so similar and stuff. It's like, do something different. That's what I want to see. Every show should have some kind of really unique hook in some way. Like, you should not have two series that feel... You know, these procedural crime dramas and this kind of stuff. It's like, I can't stand it sometimes. Zeki Nano Glue says, Trev, why do you care so much what other people think of Fear the Walking Dead? You should care about what you think, not others think. So, I mean, I do care about what I think, you know, for Zeki. But the thing is that in order for me to, you know, review something and to produce more videos about something, I have to know if there's an audience for you know, for that. If there's people who care. Otherwise, it's kind of like Gotham for me, where I did a review for Gotham this week, and I love Gotham. I never miss an episode of Gotham. I watch it every week as soon as it airs because I love the show. But unfortunately, there's not that many people into Gotham. So I can do a review for it, or I can do whatever. But it does matter whether or not people are into it. Because why am I going to take the time out of my day to, you know, put half an hour to an hour into doing a review for Gotham or for Fear the Walking Dead or for other series if people, you know, don't like it, but then additionally get some people who unsubscribe. And, you know, so for Fear the Walking Dead, I lost a lot of subscribers by supporting Fear the Walking Dead. So I did kind of do it because I wanted to. And I'm glad that I have done reviews for it every year and every episode. But the thing is that if nobody else wants to see it, then I'll watch it, but I may not always do a review for it if people don't care. You know, if people are like, and not only do they not care, but if they dislike it so much, they leave and they don't come back or something. You know, of course, that I care about. I care about, you know, if I'm going to put an hour in, I want to see that people like what I'm doing. If they don't like it, I can't keep producing it, you know, in the channel here. I've got to do what you guys want to see me do. Otherwise, I'll just watch it for my own viewing pleasure, and then that's it, like I do with Gotham most of the time. So it does matter what you guys think, for sure. And I do listen to your feedback and listen to what you have to say. I'm not tuning you guys out. That's what all these Q&As are about, is to interact with you guys more. as much as I can anyway. Maina says, Trev, The Walking Dead is so much better if it's not spoiled. Other than theories, I have no clue about how this finale will conclude. Do you think AMC has done a better job this season with keeping spoilers under wraps? Thanks, and have a great weekend. So that's a great comment from Mina. I haven't heard anything. I'm not involved with it, though, either. Like, I'm not into spoilers. You know, I haven't been for many, many years, since, like, maybe season 3 or 4. Past that, I was just like, I don't even want to know, because I realized it was just, you know, it's kind of ruining my viewing. Like, when I watch a show, it's not as epic if you know exactly what's going to happen. And you're seeing it through. But it could also be attributed, maybe the spoiler stuff is exactly the same, and it's just that the series is not as hot as it once was, so people are not chatting up the spoilers, so they're not spreading the same way. I have no idea. I don't know if AMC has done a better job. If they have, then that's great. Good for them. I'm happy. That's awesome for the series. It's better for the show. But I almost tend to think it's more about, you know, people not really caring as much as they used to. And I certainly have seen that as well, too, from, you know, my own perspective this year, for sure. Lee Mel KH2 says, I don't think the death was worth it. Rick's motivations in the comics made sense to me. As the war goes on, he realizes what they can create and decides that Negan's best punishment would be to show him how wrong he was. And I do like that. This is about the Carl death, whether or not the Carl death was worth it. So that was his comment, and I see what you're saying. It's a good question whether or not it was worth it to kill Carl off. It's still one that's heavily debated, but most people would say it probably wasn't worth it. And I think that if you look at the ratings, they probably would. They basically tell that story. They reflect that it didn't really boost popularity or do anything positive for The Walking Dead. If anything, it kind of just kept it on track at the type of hype that it was at and the type of where it was going. But I mean, again, for the story. And to have some major deaths during all out war, even if it's not directly as a result of the war, during the war, then I guess, for those reasons, I guess it makes sense. It depends on how you want to look at it. Thomas Nocter says, am I the only one who thinks Rick and Morgan are the deadliest duo in the show? I'd like to see more of this before he goes to Fear. Well, unfortunately, Thomas, I don't think we have much time for that since we only have the 2 episodes. In tonight's episode, I'm not even sure if we're going to see them, fighting side by side. But probably in the finale, and you might be right there. They are a super deadly couple. But Daryl could definitely give Morgan a run for that. Granted, I do think I enjoy seeing Rick and Morgan more than Daryl and Rick, because they were kind of fighting and stuff earlier on this season and everything. And the last one will be from Billie Jean, who says, Trav Q&A, do you think Carol's character has come full circle? And if so, what would you like to see happen to her character next? Thanks, Trav. So I like the idea that Carol is kind of like the savior, as Morgan kind of refers to her as. So her job is to save people. And I love the fact that she got to save Henry, because she couldn't save Sophia in her earlier form. So it really shows how much she's grown, how strong she's become. Just a lot of great stuff, man. Carol rules, dude. She's awesome. So really happy to see that. And I think she has kind of come full circle, and so has Morgan in a lot of ways, and they've grown a lot. And I'm happy they're still in the show. I'm glad they don't take the idea once they have no ideas or go with the whole idea once they have no ideas for a character, they should kill them off. I never really, I'm glad that they haven't really been doing that. Even though they've had these characters in the show for a long time, they haven't just killed them off because they have nothing for them. Daryl's one that probably needs a relationship. Maybe they'll do a relationship with him and Rosita, or do something else with him. He's one that kind of needs some kind of development or change, I think, next year for sure. Anyway, that'll be it for today's Q&A, guys. I hope you liked it. If you did, I appreciate you watching. Please don't forget to thumb it up. You can share, favorite. And if you're new and you want to subscribe, I would appreciate you can subscribe as well, too, at the bottom. Turn on the bell for notifications. And I'll see you back again tonight for the review and all the videos after episode 15. That's it for this one. I'll see you guys again soon for another video. As always, this is Trev, and I'm saying peace. Later, guys. See you tonight.